First thing I like to start with dogs is engagement training, or it's also called marker training.
Mm-hmm.
A marker is just a sound, a certain sound that marks a moment in time that the dog got something correct. And to the dog, it means reward, and for me, it also means release.
Right.
So that'll be your terminal command, terminal marker. That means reward and your release from the position.
Mm-hmm.
I also teach a continuation marker, which means reward, but don't move, keep doing that. You'll use the terminal marker more than the continuation, and I'll show you, like, imply them, show you how to use them properly.
Okay.
But for me, the terminal marker that I use is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes means you're coming to get a reward, and it means come to me, get
Mm-hmm.
a reward. And it also means you're free to move.
Okay.
I use good as my continuation marker. That means if I don't teach stay as a actual
Okay,
word.
that's
So,
what I wanted to know.
yeah, I just teach sit, means to sit there until I release you.
Okay.
Right? So when you're teaching the stay portion of sit, when she's sitting, if I don't want her to release her by saying yes, and that means break and come get a reward, I'll say good, and I walk over to her, and I'll reward it. That reinforces her staying there. So as she's doing something that you like, you continue to reinforce it with food or whatever. And then when I want her to move, I will say yes, and I step back to show her that yes means to come to me. Sit, good, right? So good just means good job, keep doing that, but don't move. Good. There's a whole process to teach it as well. Yes. But there's like a really important thing that you got to do when you're teaching it. You don't want to do everything at the same time. You have to separate everything.
Right.
So I'm not going, yes, yes, you see that same time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, yes, and then I move.
Right.
You have to separate, because if you don't, they'll never learn the word. They're very visually oriented.
Okay.
So you have to give them time to hear the word, and then the word follows the action. Same when I'm luring. Luring is the act of teaching a dog to follow food, like follow it.
Mm-hmm.
You can lure them into positions, spin on them, go into a heel, like they follow the food. So when I am luring, and I use luring to teach positions, like if I'm trying to teach a dog to sit, I'm luring them with the food in their nose, and then I lift up, their butt goes down, good. And then they go into a sit without me saying it. So when I'm luring, I'm not, I'm not going sit, or I'm not going sit, I'm going sit, and then I start luring.
Okay.
Right? So you gotta have a 1 to 2 second separation between your word
Yeah.
and your
That's
action.
gonna be hard to get used to.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's easy to be like, look at my car.
Right.
It's hard to be like, yeah, look at my car.
Right.
It's not normal. So,
Right.
yeah, you'll have to train. It's a skill that you got to train yourself to do. But what I like to do is I like to not even have anything in my hand, and I'll say yes, and then I'll grab. And then because you have to grab it, it gives you that separation.
Okay.
Or I like to go yes, 1, 2, and then move if it helps you like that.
Okay.
But you just don't want to yes, yes. Same with the good, right? Good, and then I move. So in the beginning, you want to reward her regardless if you ask for behavior or not. So I didn't ask her to sit, but she did. So I
Right.
said good, and I rewarded that. As she's sitting here, I'm going to continue with the good. Good. And she doesn't know the words yet, but once she does, you'll say good, and she's not going to move because you teach her that it's not moving, but she'll, behavior change. She's going to know, oh, this is awesome, I'm about to get a reward.
Yeah.
You'll say yes, and she'll fly to you, right? If I'm teaching a dog, or if they're marker trained and I say yes to all my dogs that are trained, they immediately stop what they're doing, like, and they come to me. But the yes isn't just my way to, hey, come, like I'm using a command.
Okay.
Right? I'm not saying, oh, because she's reacting, hey, yes, right? Because then you're going to reward the bad behavior that you don't want. But yes will bring your dog to you because they understand that it's a food reward.
Okay.
Or toys, you can use toys too. Yes, and then play, but I like to use food first in
Yeah.
the beginning to teach everything, and then I'll start adding the toys because some dogs are very high ball drive, and like the toy just makes them go crazy.
Yeah.
Like Malinois and German Shepherds and
Yeah.
stuff, they're insane. So
She is too. She loves the ball.
Yep. So we'll teach food first, and then you switch it to the ball, and yes, and you play with her, you throw the ball, and different things you can do. So right now, my only goal is to just get her engaged. Right? There's different things you can do to start teaching her the marker. I can simply good, and then reward. Good, and reward, and you see that separation there. And and then start teaching yes, I go yes, then I step back to show her that it's hey, come to me. Good. And again, I'm not really saying much to her. The less you say, the better. Like anything you say to your dog that has no meaning tied to an action, it means nothing. So oftentimes when I'm training dogs, when I get brand new dogs, I don't really talk to them at all, really. Like I'm not really saying anything outside of yes or their name.
Okay.
Or, you know, I'm not going, hey, this, that, that. So the less you say, the better it's going to be for her.
Okay.
And it makes your communication extremely valuable. Because now every time you speak to her, especially in the beginning while she's training, she's going to, oh, she's saying something, it must mean something. Rather than, oh man, awesome, Pop, you're doing so good. Look at you sitting. Like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's easy to do. And you know, you're still gonna talk to her a little bit, but the less you do it, the better.
Okay.
You want your words to have a lot of meaning, and every word predicts an action. So again, yes, then I step back and reward. Yes. Yes. And she's a different dog when dogs aren't around them, so that's cool.
She is.
The dog's coming to play, she just lights up.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Good girl. After you say your marker, that's when you can praise. I won't praise first, like, good girl, yes. Like, I'll go, yes, good girl, and start praising her after I say the marker.
Okay.
It's important to note that you say it the same time every time, too, or the same way every time. I'm not going to go, yes, or, yeah, it's always, yes, good, yes, good, no. Like, when I say no, I'm not yelling, no, right? It's just no. And then, if the no will always follow a correction, but in the beginning, no will follow leash pressure. So right now, we're not going to add any major leash pops unless it's something that's like jumping on the couch or not even jumping on the couch, getting in the trash or something that you want to instantly correct that you can. But I'm not going to correct and adding leash pops with something that she gets wrong. So like if I say sit and she lays down, I'm not going to go, no, pop the leash. I'm gonna go, no, leash pressure straight up. She's gonna fix it, yes, and then I'm gonna reward her.
Okay.
Yes. But you wanna just have it really strongly tied to the marker, because through the marker you can teach a dog anything. Because now, once she's conditioned to it, it's like a screenshot in her mind. Exactly what she's doing when she hears that, she knows that action was correct. And then she'll learn really fast when she has it. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm not going to say anything to her. I want her to SIT, but I'm not going to say it. I want her to just figure out what I want, how to get the food out of my hand. And I'll just stand here and wait. A lot of patience. Yes. Yes. And because I don't really say anything, she'll repeat it on her own. She'll start to figure out, yes, what to do for the food. She'll offer you, it's called being a proactive dog. She'll offer you things rather than you having to react to things. Hey, no, sit. She'll just start doing it and realizing, oh, my behavior brings food out of thin air. So I'm not ever bribing a dog. Right? I'm not saying, hey, I got this food, please come.
Right.
I'm saying come, and because you came, food came out of thin air, and you heard yes, which means, oh, reward. Once she's conditioned to the marker, it doesn't matter how far she is when you say it, you'll say yes, and she knows, oh, that's that. And then it doesn't really matter how long you take to deliver it. But when she's learning it, you want to deliver it within a second or two after you say it. So she can learn that it always follows food. So, good. Yes! And then I step back, reward. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Beautiful. Yes! This, by the way, is called free shaping. It's when you don't have anything in mind, but you just want your dog to do something. Right? I don't care if she goes into her crate, lays down, gets on a place. Yes! I just want her to do something. Right? This creates a dog that is not reliant, yes, on seeing the food to do stuff. Like a lot of dogs, they won't do anything unless they see the food first.
Okay.
This creates a dog that will do stuff regardless if they see the food or not, because they know that their behavior brings food out of thin air. Good. And again, that's a continuation marker, so it just means to sit there, but she's not actually in a command. Good. But I'm just showing her that when I say good, I'm bringing the food to you. When I say yes, you're coming to me to get the food.
Right.
Good. I walk to her, bring it to her. But the separation's still there. Good. And then I move. Yes. And when you do yes, it's important. You always want to step back to show her, hey, come to me and get it. Yes. Yes. It seems very, very simple, but I mean, you're gonna, when you start doing it, and here in a minute, you're gonna be like, oh man, you're gonna be like, oh, oops, this, and
Yeah, right.
same time, and it'll be important. You'll start to see. You'll be like, oh, it's a lot harder in the beginning.
Oh, it is.
Yes. Now, you want to be mindful that you don't do this too much, just yes, 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 over and over. You don't want to be predictable, so I'll kind of like take a break and do other things, or I'll start luring. To teach her how to lure, which means just follow food and stay right up on your hand, because when you see dogs luring, when I'm teaching things, they're right up on me, and I can get them to spin, I can get them into a heel, get them to sit, get them to down, get them to move over here and sit.
Mm-hmm.
But dogs don't know how to do it, so how I do it is, yes, when her nose touches my hand, I'll just reward. I'll mark yes, or I'll say good, and I'll give her the food. In the beginning, I'm not worried about turning and stuff. I just want her to go in a straight line and follow me.
Right.
Good. And I'll let her eat it when I say good. Again, the separation's still there. When it's in her nose, I say good, and then I release. I don't say good and release at the same time. Good. Good girl. Good. Good. And this will be the foundation of like everything that she learns, you know. Good. Good. And then eventually, you know, like I'm not adding any turns, but you know, you want her to just follow you. Good. Like after she takes a step or two, then I'll start adding 2 steps and 3 steps before I release it. So now I'll do like, you know, a couple steps. Good. But the goal is you want her to be real, like right up on your hand, like almost eating out of it. Eventually when she understands this, you'll have like a couple pieces of food and you'll be able to have her in a heel and she'll be eating while you're walking. So she'll be able to continuously eat. So yeah, why don't you, good. Go ahead and practice the good and the yes. Good is I go to you and give a reward. Right. Yes is you come to me and get a reward. Okay. So I have you engage with her and make sure the cameras, yep, still good.
Good.
Perfect.
Good.
Cool, that was the same time there.
It was.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yes.
Very good. Gotta reload.
Yeah. Good. Yes.
Nice.
Good.
Now there is an aspect of obedience. Let's say you wanted to reward her. You didn't ask her to sit. Let's say you wanted to reward her because she sat.
Mm-hmm.
When she's learning, you want it to be within a second of her sitting. So pretend this is her butt and this is the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go, yes. Like it'll be, if you catch it in the moment, I'll go,
good.
There you go. As soon as she sits, yes, or good. And she'll connect that with being. If you catch it, like if she's sitting and you don't catch the exact moment she sits, I mean, you can still say good, but she's not going to understand why she's getting it.
Right.
But
she'll just think she's super special.
Yeah. So if you want to connect the action to your reward, you got to do it within like the second that she does it. You have about a second or two. So it's like it'll always be very instant. So if I'm chilling around the house and I see her, she just sits randomly, I'll say good and I'll walk over to her and give her a reward. But if I'm chilling in the house, I see her sit and doing something and then I'm like, oh yeah, then I won't even bother. You know? So yeah, it's very good.
She's so pretty when you're a good girl.
She's doing good.
She is.
Yep, so that was the same time.
I was gonna lure her.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and try some luring. So as soon as her snout touches, if her snout is continuously touching, you can continue. Good, release. Good, release.
Okay. I need good.
Very good.
Good. Yes.
Nice. Good separation
Good.
there. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, it should be a different dog because of this, I'm telling you. Maybe a lot.
Great. Oh, change your mind. Great.
Cool. So with the crate, the separation will still apply.
Good.
So you kind of did like did crate. So I will always go like this. I'll go crate, and then I lure. And then from there, you want to just finish it. So
Mhm.
I'll there's no door on this side, but
No.
I'll do something like this. So I'll put this over here. Poppy, hey, good girl. Good birthing. Poppy. So I'll go crate, and then from there, use the leash pressure with the lure. Good. And then let her come out and get a reward from there.
She was going in without
Any hesitation?
Yeah.
That's alright. I mean, it's still pretty early, so.
Well, we've got treats out here.
Crate. Good. Except I used the wrong one there because you want to use yes if she's leaving. Because remember, good just means keep doing. So I'll say
Right.
crate. Then the lure. She goes in. But now she's not getting the reward until she goes in. Yes! And that means you're released. So from there, again, Poppy, crate, and lure. Yes! She can come out now and get a reward. There's no more like rewards in the crate. I mean, I'll still do that a little
Right.
bit. But now it's, you go in and you get a reward for going in and you also get released. So again, Poppy, crate. Yes! She comes out, gets a reward. Yes is also saying you're free to leave the crate. The reason why I don't do good right now is because it's still pretty early. But once she understands she must stay in there, then I'll continue to give her it while she's in the crate. But right now you're just using yes for the crate. So it'll be crate. And lower with the leash. Yes! Come out, get a reward. Does that make sense?
It does.
Beautiful.
She's
Poppy, crate. And I use the leash to lure. Yes! Comes out, gets the reward. So it's okay to use the leash pressure for this one. One being can't really fit your arm in a weird way, and two, she's not fighting it anymore. So now it's, now there's a little bit of accountability. So again, Poppy, crate. And put her in. Yes! Good girl. And after you say yes, it's cool to praise and pet and do all sorts of stuff. Poppy, crate. Yes! So why don't you try that out?
Poppy. Here. Sit. Good girl. I know I did that wrong.
Yeah. So
I know I did it wrong.
it'll be straight up, sit, good. And then you want to separate,
Poppy. Crate.
And then leash. I won't even use food lure anymore, yeah. You want to finish it?
Crate.
Now use the leash. Yes.
Yes.
And then come out, eat a reward. As soon as her last paw is in, yes. And then you get her out with the food and she comes to you and eats. Be mindful that you don't repeat commands. I'll say the command one time, and from there, I will then use the leash to show her. Okay. Crate, she doesn't do, it's just a leash from that point.
Okay. Poppy. Crate.
Now leash. Yes.
Good girl. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that's hard. See what I mean? It's a little hard.
It is.
Yeah. So, as soon as she gets in, yes.
Okay.
And then from there, let her eat the reward, and you can praise at that point. No, it is hard. It's hard. Yeah.
You're training me and her.
Yeah, it's really more the client than the dogs. Really.
I know it. Poppy. Crate.
Reward. Good.
Yes.
Cool. So a little late on the yes. Try that
I
again.
know. Poppy, great.
Now leash. Very good. Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Cool.
We're getting there. Poppy, great.
Nice. Cool. Now a little quicker on the yes. As soon
Okay.
the second she doesn't have to be facing you for you to say the yes.
Okay.
So soon as her last leg goes in the crate, yes, and then she's gonna turn around and she's gonna see you with the food and she's gonna come out and eat it.
Poppy, great. Yes.
Perfect. There you go. That was good. Very good.
Sit. Oop, I dropped it. Pooh.
Cool. So what was wrong with that picture?
I said good girl
Yeah.
instead of.
Just good. You could. It doesn't really matter about the word. You could say good girl, but dogs are a lot better with a single.
Yeah.
Good. This like I'm not saying, stand up please. Like I'm just
Right.
stand right.
All right, Poppy.
Very good.
Good girl. Sorry, it's gonna be that way. It's just gonna be crate. Oh, gross. Good girl.
Cool. Good girl does not sound like yes.
You're right, it doesn't.
No. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to make you a pro. You're on what? 10 minutes of your first. I'm on like many thousands of hours.
I
so-
know.
so
I'll
it's,
get
it's
there.
okay. You'll get there. Yeah.
I'll get there.
And that's why I do the lessons after the board and train's over too, because then I got to teach you to maintain and sustain
Yeah.
it, and so it's important that you understand how to do it without me. So
Right.
I'll work with you. Don't I'm not gonna
I
be.
appreciate
I'm
it.
not gonna be like, come on, man, we've done this for 5 minutes. You're not a pro yet, like, so it'll be good.
Poppy, great. Good girl. Sorry, it didn't sound like a yes, did
No,
it?
just
Okay.
yes, just yes.
Poppy, great. Yes.
Cool. That was good. I want you to do 5 reps in a row perfectly. So we'll do that until you get those 5 reps perfectly.
Poppy, great. Yes.
Very good. Yeah, that was good. That's one.
Poppy, it's the drum. Great.
Good separation on your crate. Yep, so continue it. Don't let her back out.
Yes.
Perfect. That was 2 perfect reps. That was really good. Good job, Christine. Cool. So, okay, cool. I was about to say, when the dog disengages, I'll just step on the leash. I don't want him to disengage.
Okay.
I won't let him disengage when I'm training. I'll be like, no, come back here.
All right.
And I don't really say anything to him. That's all right.
Poppy, great.
Yep. Continue.
Good. Yes.
You fix yourself. We'll count it. I'll count that as 3. We'll count that one.
Poppy, great. Yes.
Very good. Now you're getting somewhere. Yeah, there you go.
Poppy, great. Yes.
There you go. That's good.
One more. Poppy, great. Yes.
Cool. So your reward, yes, was perfect, but the last 2 crate, you kind of crate
Yeah.
same time. So remember, it's always crate, and then I move. There's also an important note about the pressure. When you're using the leash, that's just leash pressure.
Yeah.
Regardless if you're pulling up for the sit or you're just leading them somewhere, it's just leash pressure. You're teaching them the pressure's on. Once the pressure begins, it must not turn off until
Okay.
the dog finishes. So like, if I'm saying crate, and then she gets halfway in, I release the pressure, and then she leaves.
She backs out.
Yeah, you want to, it's kind of like, I'll put it this way. Let's say I get migraines, and when I get migraines, I don't like lights. So let's say every time I'm sitting on the couch, all the lights are off when I have a migraine. And let's say I stand up, all the lights come on. I sit back down, the lights turn off, right? So I'm sitting down, which turns off the lights, turns off the pressure. So you're saying crate, pressure turns on when she doesn't do. And then when she gets in the crate, pressure turns off and reward comes, right? So the pressure must stay on because you're teaching her that pressure means something. And when the pressure turns off too early, it almost is telling her, good job, you did it right. So you want to make sure the pressure is continuously on until she does.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good though. Does this all kind of make sense a little bit?
It does.
Yeah? Beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Very good. Yeah, I have no doubts that she'll be good, man. with the dogs and everything off leash. It's just, you know, I like to start in the home with like little distraction to teach the proper tools to be able to control and
Right.
you know, have that strong marker, because you can do a lot with that marker. You can teach a dog anything. Like that's how most people train, is with markers. So, like, have you ever heard of clicker training?
Yes.
People, that's what we're doing, just with our voice.
Okay.
You know why the reason why the clicker is so good? Because every time you click it, it's always the same sound.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing is, it's one extra tool you gotta have on you, and
That's
that's why I don't like it. So I like using my voice. So you always wanna pick a sound. Like your sound could literally be any sound, but you wanna say it the same every time. It doesn't really matter about the word. I can go chip like that, and that would be the same every time. So when I say yes, I'm always trying to be the same. I'm going yes, 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 just like that. Yeah. Okay. Mindful too. In the beginning, every time you say yes, you wanna always give her a reward within a second. So I'm not really gonna say yes to her. Unless I have a reward ready. Yeah, that's a good.
Good.
Very good. Good.
Yes.
Perfect separation. Very good. That was nice.
We'll keep trying, Pooh.
Very good.
Great. Yes.
Nice. That was good. That was a good one.
Oh,
That was a good one. Yeah. Very good.
yes. Sit. Yes. Good girl.
Cool. So right there, right? Too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Hi.
Yes. Step back. The less you say, right? A lot of people, the number one problem I see with a lot of dog owners is they talk way too much to their dog. And remember, everything you do sends a signal to your dog. Everything. So everything I say. Imagine if you're in
Good.
France, and let's say, or imagine you're in France and you just know the word yes, it's we, right? Or we, or whatever. I don't
We.
really. Yeah,
You're
we.
right.
Okay. Cool. So let's say somebody in French is just talking to you. Double, I don't know French, but
I don't
let's say
either.
they're talking to you, you don't
Blah, blah,
understand it.
blah.
Yeah. And then through that sentence you hear we, and you're like, oh, yes, right?
Yeah.
That's what the dog is hearing. So the dog is hearing mumble, 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 yes, mumble, right? And they're like, oh, I know that word. So the less you say to her, especially in your training. Like if you're just around the house, if you want to talk to her, that's cool. I can't stop you from that. But in the training session, I don't say anything outside of just their commands or their marker, and after the marker, then I'll praise. Oh, awesome girl! And when I'm praising, I'm getting excited, letting her know that was so fun and all sorts of stuff like that. So, very good.
Great. Yes.
Perfect. Very good.
Sit. Good.
That was good. That was good. Good timing. Cool. So that's pretty good. So that's what we have so far. You have good, which means go to you,
Right.
give a reward. Yes,
Yes.
come to me and get a reward. And you have your separation. No, for me, is always a correction. Whether it's a leash pop, whether it's, like a correction can even be this. I say sit to a dog, and they decide to lay down. I'll say no, and I'll lure into the sit again. And then yes, right? So a correction just means you're going to correct it.
Okay.
Doesn't always mean I'm popping a leash or whatever.
Okay.
So no is always your correction mark.